So I'm the superintendent of Odyssey Academy, and I have been so blessed to be with Odyssey for 18 school years. I'm about to start my 18th school year, so I'm very excited and I love it.
My story started at a very young age. I was flown 6,300 miles across the world to meet my new parents, and that would lead me to where I am today, running my family business.
You know, I met Johnny, who's now my husband, and I was his deckhand, you know, fell in love with the Gulf Coast, the seafood, shrimping, oystering. It was just like nothing you could ever imagine.
I'm born in Saigon, Vietnam, and during the war times, and my dad, he been taken away from the family, and I not see my dad until when I'm 8 years old, 17 years old, and we moved to America. And this, the country, they give me opportunity to work and learn and grow my family.
You know, I'd been having this dream of owning a clothing boutique, This is all I could think about in school. I was in maritime administration. All I could think about was owning a boutique. But I was in college and people were doing it online. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna do it online. And my dad was like, Kimmy, come on. And I was like, no, I'm doing it. I'm doing it online. I always say the first time I ever handed a white bag with pink tissue paper was at the women's conference.
Started my career in respiratory therapy and stayed there for about 28 years. But 10 years prior to my retirement, I started the organization, the NEA Cultural Center.
I started when I came to work at Casa del Mar 30 plus years ago. Just started out at the front desk and there for 35 years and still learn every day.
I'm an Aggie. I got my undergrad and my master's in education, both in education from A&M, and then I just earned my doctorate just a few years ago from University of Houston Clear Lake. I have always wanted to be a mom. That's been like my biggest thing. So it made sense that I went into education to be around children.
We were one of the first programs for the Children's Youth Development Program that was a statewide program that addressed youth violence. And with the help of the University of Houston School of Social Work, we were able to organize the community around the issue of youth violence and came up with programming that affected change there. So the NEA Cultural Center Girls Rites of Passage and the Family Strengthening and Empowerment Program were born out of that effort. So we were able to implement programming that helped to help with positive youth development, strengthening families, and cultural enrichment throughout the community.
When my parents first came to America with a family of 4 people, we could have 2 luggage and $25 in 1992. So we realized we have to build our family, our future, and I tried to go college, but very hard. Right now I have 2 businesses, and I help my daughter achieve her goal with her tea-side tapioca, and I'll help my son for open the outdoor market in Santa Fe soon.
My husband, Johnny, was a wannabe shrimper. He wanted to be a shrimper so bad, and I decked him with him for 3 years. And my son, Monty, he was with us, you know, he was his first mate. And because, you know, trying to find a babysitter, because you stay overnight, people don't understand. Shrimpers sleep out there in the bay at the Houston Ship Channel. There's a lot that goes to catching your shrimp, more than what people think it is. It doesn't just jump in the net. And then oystering. Oystering, probably, I did it one season with my husband, but I'll tell you what, oysters is what they consider blood money. That is the hardest job I've ever done in my entire life. People I grew up with, you know, on the water, it's like we're like a family, and they're like, really, how did y'all get? I'm like, I really don't know. I guess just God had a plan. And when you're a mom who has to race from the office, go get your kids off the bus, and then run them back down to the office, and then you're up. I was up till 12, 1 o'clock at night doing, you know, shrimp checks or oyster checks, and you know, people have to have the product. Restaurants don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear you don't have an oyster. You know, when people want oysters, you can't say, you can always substitute a shrimp, you know, for something else, but you can't substitute an oyster. You know, oyster is an exotic species. It kind of speaks for itself.
I was in banking, I was a teacher for a couple of years, always did pop-ups on the weekends online. And then finally, my husband and I got married, and he's actually like my biggest cheerleader, and he was like, Kimmy, if you're gonna think about Kimmy's the rest of your life, like just do Kimmy's. He was like, don't, you know, you're a great teacher and you know, we're good in banking, but if you're gonna do, you know, if you're gonna live life, like let's do what you want. So let's do this full or nothing. So I was like, okay, let's do it 100%. So quit my teaching job, got married, and you know, opened the store, and it's just been ever since. I just can't imagine my life any other way. And our first store actually, you know, we were in Waxahachie, Texas, where my husband grew up, and I always knew I wanted to raise kids here, so when the opportunity presented itself, we opened another store here, and now we're running both, and it's crazy, but wouldn't have it any other way. We're used to the chaos, so.
Love the industry and love the company that I work for and all the people, the owners, the guests. And I've cut back a little bit now on my hours, trying to make some room for some of the younger professionals in our organization to grow. And that's one of the things that our company does, is we promote from within. And just like I climbed from the to the top, we've had so many of our other associates do the same thing. Work with a great team there. So blessed.
My dad started Tom's Thumb in 1974, and I went to college, decided to go to A&M, and came back, and he decided he wanted to do something else. So after a few years, I bought the nursery and brought it forward to where it is today. My dad taught me the ethic of get your butt up and go to work. Coming in with a pan, banging it or anything to get us out of bed at 6 o'clock. My mom taught me how to love and appreciate everybody and help everybody.
My perfect day when I'm not working is to spend it with my family. I love games. My family's always like, game night for mom. So love games. I love spending time with my family. I love just being with my friends and family.
Going to the beach, going to the pool, being with peers, totally present, having my phone away, having my computer away. Because, you know, one thing about being online and having lives and an app is you're on your phone a lot. So really being present with peers and existing on the island, looking at the water, that's my perfect day. Really doing a whole lot of nothing, honestly.
My not working day, I work in my garden. I have the beautiful garden, and I love to cook. So during pandemic, when we locked down 45 days, and one day I called Gina and said I cooked so much egg roll. So we bring that for the Galveston police, and by help by Gina, then we spread out the food for the community.
I don't even know if I know what a balanced life means, because you never finish. And I tell my kids, it's always going to be there tomorrow. That's how you balance. You have to take priorities, and you finish what you know you have to prioritize, and the rest will be there waiting.
We do what it takes to make sure that the job is done well and give it 100%, and respecting others, being kind, and just focusing on trying to make it a win-win for everybody.
A perfect day is also having all my grandkids around me. You know, just family. I mean, it's that wholesome feeling, like, you know, when you grew up as a kid and you remember mom putting dinner on the table and things like that. That's a perfect day for me. It's just peace.
So I realized the very importance and learn and achieve your goal. And we did. And difficult for me when I have children by there. So I dropped college and start career and making financing for families.
I want to relate to people. I want to be with people, and that's why I got into it, because I wanted to make a difference in the lives of people. Understanding every aspect of the area that you're embarking on is important. If you understand all of it up front, it'll help you to have both that work-life balance and you don't have unrealistic expectations of what you can achieve.
Always remember, something is always going on with somebody else. It's not always about you. And the best part that we love about being in a community is helping people and giving back. Give somebody a job, give somebody a home to come to. Just being able to be a part of the community, I think, is the best gift of life, giving.
This community raised me, and it is my turn to give back. They did such amazing work in supporting me and loving me and caring for me. I must give back. I must give back to the children. The children are our future, and so we absolutely have to support our community.
It's hard as a corporation to donate to Little League teams and be a part of, school stuff and give back. So yeah, to me, it's like if you're not giving back and being a part of your community, what's the point? So it just kind of gives kind of an additional why to being in business.
Working in the community is important is because the community poured into me. It's a much different picture today, but when I was growing up and as a teenager and a young girl, there was a plethora of youth serving organizations and just people in the community that looked out for you. I mean, it's much less available to the kids of today than they were in my time. So I want to do what I can to try to fill that gap.
We all have so many opportunities, and we can make the best of this beautiful world by just being positive and supporting each other. And that's one of the things I love about the Women's Conference.
It teaches entrepreneurship to young women, and especially women, I like, as far as empowerment and that you can do what another person can do. I just think that empowered women empower other women.
Being part of the Galveston Regional Chamber of Commerce, it's like a family. It is so wonderful. And we try to be members of all the chambers within our reach and our area. And it's really wonderful because when you do need your help, they're there for you.
Again, the chamber is absolutely amazing, and I feel so blessed and so honored. And I'm just so proud of all the women who also had this honor, because I'm just so proud of everything that women do out in the world, that women do in this community.
Well, I want to congratulate all the women that were chosen for this, because it is an honor, and it means that you have worked hard and they have come along their path to be recognized. That's very nice.
Don't compare yourself to someone else's journey. Sometimes you can compare yourself, your beginning to someone's end or middle. Don't compare yourself, and really community over competition. That's why I love being with the chamber too. If you can work with other business owners in different industries, or even in your same industry. I talk to so many boutique owners daily. Just talking shop with them is so important. So I would say do talk to other business owners on the daily, because it really does help.
While you're addressing issues, as long as there are issues, you just keep working. You don't stop and look for spotlights, you just do the work. And it's important because it validates the fact that it is recognized by more than just the people we serve, but that work is important work.
Congratulations for all the women. They are the winning of the Woman of the Year, for their families, for the communities, or for themselves, because the women have the voice to stand up and be the voice for the women.
All of the Women of the Year, I'm so honored to be standing alongside you guys, and I'm just thrilled to know each of you and be a part of your lives. And I know that the Chamber is one of the most amazing organizations, and for them to take the time to honor us, we really do appreciate that. So thank you to the Chamber as well.